Our lessons for today are about relations and functions, independent and dependent variables. You can say that you have understood the lessons if you can already illustrate a relation and a function, verify if a given relation is a function, and determine independent and dependent variables. So let's start with what is a relation. So kagaya sa buhay, kung sinabi nating relation, kailangan merong isang tao na related sa isa pang tao. Okay. Any set of ordered pairs xy is called a relation in x and y. So if you have a collection of ordered pairs, kahit nag-iisang ordered pair lang siya, natatawag pa rin natin siyang relation kasi si x related pa rin kay y. Okay? The set of first element in the ordered pairs is called the domain of the relation, meaning to say, lahat po ng first element, pag kinolekta po natin yan, ang tawag po sa kanila ay domain. Kinolekta mo naman lahat ng y values, ang tawag naman po sa kanya ay si range. Relations can be one-to-one, one-to-many, or many-to-one. So, itong tatlong ito na po ay, ang tawag po dyan ay correspondences, and later on, we will discuss each of them. A relation can be represented in different ways. It can be by a list of ordered pairs, mapping diagram, table of values, or a graph. Let's start with a list of ordered pairs. For example, we have A1, B2, and C3. So these are the ordered pairs. We have 3. So sinadya ko po na ang first element natin ay letters para mas maintindihan po natin kung sino yung domain at sino si range. So yung A, B, and C ay yung unang element ng ordered pair. Ang tawag po sa kanila ay si domain. Whereas yung numbers na 1, 2, and 3, sila po yung second element. So, when you collect each of them, ang tawag sa kanila ay si range. Next, let's proceed to mapping diagram. Meron tayong tinatawag na one-to-one correspondence, one-to-many correspondence, and many-to-one correspondence. Let's start with one-to-one correspondence. So, as you can see, we have here the x column and the y column, having all the values of x here and all the values of y here. So, we call this one-to-one correspondence kapag yung isang element ni x related sa isang element lang ni y. So, nag-iisang element lang. B para kay 2, si C ang partner niya ay si 3. So, kung ilan po yung arrow na nakikita ninyo, yun po ang number of ordered pairs na pwede nyo lang mabuo. Dito, meron tayong ordered pairs na A1, B2, and C3. Sila po yun. We call this as one-to-one correspondence since for every element of X corresponds to an element of Y. Bawat isang element X, isa lang din yung partner niya kay Y. One-to-one correspondence. In life, ang tawag dito ay stick to one. Okay? Next, one-to-many correspondence. Isang element kay X, pero maraming elements kay Y siya nakapartner. So, isa X value. So, let's say A. Ang partners niya, pwedeng si 1, pwedeng si 2. So, we call this one-to-many correspondence. So, dalawa yung arrows natin, ibig sabihin, dalawa yung ordered pairs natin dito. A1 and A2. A1, A2. We call this as one-to-many correspondence because an element of X corresponds to one or more elements of Y. In Tagalog or in real life, ang tawag dito ay marami kang crush. Okay? Nag-iisa ka lang pero marami ang crush mo. Si stick to one or si one-to-one, iisa lang yung crush niya forever. Okay, for the last correspondence, we have here many-to-one. So, many, sabihin, maraming elements kay X, pero sa isang element lang siya kay Y related. So, you can see, B and C, dalawa, para sa isa. So, dalawa yung arrows natin dito. So, dalawa yung ordered pairs natin. B1 and C1. So, we call this many-to-one correspondence kasi maraming elements kay X para sa nag-iisang element lang ni Y. Now, proceed tayo kay table of values. There are two ways to represent table of values. Pwedeng nakaganito, meaning to say, nakapababa. So, pag nakapababa yan, ito yung elements ni X, ito yung elements ni Y. So, kung sino po yung magkatapat, yun po yung magka-ordered pair. So, dito, ang ordered pairs natin ay negative 1, negative 2. Another ordered pair, 0, 0. Another ordered pair, 1, 2. Another ordered pair, 2, 4. Hindi pwedeng maging 2, 1 ang ordered pair. Kasi, kailangan mauna muna yung value ni X bago yung value ni Y. Kasi ang ordered pair po ay X, Y. So, on this side, we call this domain kasi ito yung set of all first elements or X values. So, ito naman, if we have the collection of all the Y values, we call this the range. So, ganito yung isang posibleng itsura ng table of values. In some books, ganito ang itsura niya. Naka-horizontal naman siya. So, ito yung unang row, nandito yung X values. Sa sumunod na row, nandun yung Y values. Ang magkatapat dyan, sa taas at sa baba, yun po yung magka-ordered pair. Ito yung unang ordered pair, we have negative 1, negative 2. Another ordered pair, we have 0, 0. Another ordered pair, 1, 2. Another ordered pair, 2, 4. So, kung ganito yung itsura ng table of values natin, ang range natin itong nasa taas kasi siya yung X values. Itong Y values na nasa baba, we call it the range. Okay, next, graph. So, as you can see, meron tayong points na nakaplot dun sa graph. What you're going to do is to identify the ordered pair of each point. So, if you have 4 points here, you should have 4 ordered pairs. So, here are the ordered pairs, negative 2, negative 2, 0, 0, 2, 2, and 4, 4. So, si negative 2, negative 2, negative 2 kay X, negative 2 kay Y. So, ito yung X-axis, ang negative nandito po. So, negative 1, negative 2. Then, kay Y-axis, Y value naman ay negative 2. Ito yung Y-axis natin. Sa taas ay positive, sa baba ay negative. So, negative 1, negative 2. So, kung saan sila nag-intersect, nandun po yung point natin. So, this point is negative 2, negative 2. 0, 0 is definitely the origin. So, siya yung nasa gitna. 2, 2. Positive 2 kay X, positive 2 kay Y. Ito yung X-axis, nandito yung positive sa right side. So, from here, we have 0, 1, 2. So, ito yung positive 2 kay X. And then, positive 2 kay Y. So, 1, 2. Nandito naman siya. So, itong point ito yung tinatawag nating 2, 2. So, for the last ordered pair, we have 4. So, bakit ito yung point na yon? Dahil 1, 2, 3, 4 kay X, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 kay Y. So, kung saan sila nag-meet, doon po yung point natin. So, this point is 4, 4. Okay. So, lahat po ng binigay nating example ay relation. So, any values or terms na kaya mong gawan ng ordered pair, relation po ang tawag doon. So, ano naman po si function? Function is a relation for which each value from the domain is associated with exactly one value from the range. Meaning to say, isang element kay X dapat may kapartner siya sa Y. Okay? So, paano nasasabi na si function yung 1-to-1 at many-to-1? Na correspondences. Kasi si 1-to-1, may isang value kay X na kapartner isang value din kay Y. Kaya function siya. So, bakit na si many-to-1 ay function? Many-to-1 kasi you can have many elements kay X, pero isa lang yung value niya na partner kay Y. Okay. Ang hindi lang po function ay si one-to-many. One-to-many kasi one element kay X, marami siyang kapartner sa Y kasi one-to-many. Hindi siya function kasi kapag gumawa ka ng ordered pair, mauulit po yung X value. So, kung babalikan po natin yan kanina, yung one-to-many, ayan. Si one-to-many, hindi siya function. Bakit? Kasi, one-to-many. Gumawa ka ng ordered pair dyan, ito siya. Kung mapapansin po ninyo, yung X values, pareho. So, yan yung nagpapakita na hindi siya function. Hindi kagaya nung 1-to-1, kung mapapansin nyo, lahat ng x values, iba. Kaya function yan. Si many to 1, element or the abscissa, B and C, magkaiba po. Kaya function. So, ang hindi lang function, eto. Kasi pareho sila ng x value. Naulit po x. Kaya in real life, dapat hindi nauulit si x. Kasi hindi ka mapa-function ng maayos. Yan. So, what if graph naman ang given sa'yo? How can you identify if it is a function or not? Use the vertical line test. So, sa vertical line test, gagawa ka lang ng vertical line doon sa graph kahit saan part din sa graph. Okay? So, for example, ayan, gumawa tayo ng vertical line doon sa graph. Ang original natin na graph dito yung black. Tapos, si vertical line test natin itong orange. Okay, so, as you can see, nung naglagay tayo ng vertical line sa first graph, isang point lang yung intersection nila. Kapag isa lang yung intersection, function yung graph. Okay? Whereas here, let us have number 2, yung graph natin, circle. So, nung nag-create tayo ng vertical line here, intersect niya yung circle at 2 points. First point, second point. So, dalawang points yung na-intersect niya dun sa graph. Kaya siya ay not a function. Kailangan isa lang. Sa number 3 naman, yung mismong given na line, siya rin si vertical line. So, meaning to say, lahat ng points na nandun sa graph, dun sa black na line, yun din po yung points na nandun sa vertical line. Kaya, not a function. Kasi lahat ng points intersected. Sa number 4, ito yung graph natin, na-intersect po siya at 3 points. 1, 2, and 3. So, definitely, it is not a function. So, ganun lang po yun. Pag graph, maglagay ka lang ng vertical line, tapos check mo kung ilang beses dinamaan yung graph. Kapag isa lang, yun yung function. Pag maraming beses, not a function. Okay. What if equation naman yung given? Paano mo malalaman kung alin dyan yung function? Lahat po ito ay relation. Okay? Kasi may x and y values ka dito. So, alin dito sa mga relation na to ang function at hindi? So, paano po siya malalaman? So, ito po yung technique na ibibigay ko sa inyo. Verify if an equation is a function, just check out if the variable y has no exponent aside from 1. Meaning to say, ang titingnan mo lang dyan ay si y variable. So, kapag wala kang nakikitang exponent dito, automatic 1 po yan. 1 yung exponent niya. Okay? So, kapag ganun lang po ang gagawin mo, tingnan mo lang si y variable. Pag wala kang nakikitang exponent, function. Pag may nakita ka exponent kay y, not a function. Dito, wala ka nakikita exponent kay y, kaya function yan. Ito naman, may exponent si y, kaya not a function. Ganun lang po kasimple. Okay. So, bago tayo mag-proceed sa independent and dependent variables, may question muna ako. Lahat ba ng relation ay function? Lahat ba ng relation ay function? The answer is no. Kasi lahat, kaya nabibigay ko kanina, lahat to ay relation. Pero hindi lahat function. Kaya nga meron tayong not a function na tinatawag. Kaya meaning to say, hindi lahat ng relation ay function. Pero lahat ng function, relation. Okay? Kumbaga, si function yung special type of relation. Okay? So again, hindi lahat ng relation ay function, pero lahat ng function ay relation. Okay. Tayo kay independent and dependent variables. So, kagaya po sa English, pag sinabi nating independent, it can stand alone. Dependent, dumedepende pa yung certain person or yung certain phrase dun sa ibang phrase. Okay, so balikan natin si cause and effect. Ito naman sa English signs naman to. When I say cause, ito yung sanhi sa Tagalog or sa Filipino. Effect, ito yung bunga. Okay, so lahat ng cause, ito yung independent variable. Lahat ng effect, ito yung dependent. Kasi yung bunga o kung ano man yung magiging output, dumedepende kung ano yung cause. So, siya yung dependent. Okay, let's have number 1. Take a bath, then you will be refreshed. Ang ating cause ay kung maliligo ka. Ang epekto nun, mare-refresh ka. So, lahat ng blue na makikita nyo dito ay yung independent variable. Lahat ng red na makikita ay yung dependent variable. Let's have number 2. My mother gave me a reward because I passed the exam in mathematics. So, ang cause dyan, pumasa siya sa mathematics, ang effect, binigyan siya ng reward. So, number 3, the dog barked at him for he is a stranger. Ang ating cause, for he is a stranger. Siya ay stranger. Ang effect nun, tumuhol yung aso. Number 4, I slept early last night so I woke up early in the morning. Ang cause po dyan ay natulog siya ng maaga kagabi. Ang effect nun ay nagising siya ng maaga kinabukasan. Number 5, he forgot his wallet at home. That is why he walked from school going home. Ang cause dyan or yung independent variable is naiwan niya yung wallet niya sa bahay. Ang effect nun or dependent variable ay naglakad siya pauwi from school. So, ganito yung independent and dependent variables. Cause and effect lang siya. So, apply na natin siya sa mathematics or ito yung definition niya in English ha. Independent variables are the causes because they can stand alone. While those in the effects are the dependent variables because they can happen if certain causes have occurred. So, dumedepende yung output kung ano yung ginawa. So, ito na, apply na natin siya sa mathematics. Function means the dependent variable is determined by the independent variable. Meaning to say, the independent variable is denoted by x. So, lahat ng x values, ito yung independent or ito yung cause. Pagdating sa y value, ito naman yung dependent variable. So, sa function, we say y is a function of x. This means y depends on or is determined by x. So, hindi ka magkakaroon ng function kapag wala kang relation. Okay? So, dito, makikita mo na si 1 na nabigyang pangalan siya dahil kay A. Okay? Kasi si A related siya kay 1. Dahil kay A, nagkaroon siya ng relation. So, si B related kay 2. Si C related kay 3. In this example, A, B, and C are the values of x, which are the independent variables. Since 1, 2, and 3 are the values of y, they are the dependent variables. As you can see in the illustration, 1 is determined by A. This means that 1 is recognized because of A. Nagkaroon ka ng 1 dahil kay A. Okay? So, let us try to answer this. In each situation, identify the independent and dependent variables. Okay, so the size of the tank a fish collector needs depends on how many fish he has. So, on these blanks, we have here blank depends on blank. So, dito napakadali lang. Kasi nasa given na natin yung salitang depends on. So, kung ano yung nauunang statement, yun yung ilalagay natin sa unang blank. So, sino po yung nasa unang blank? The size of the tank a fish collector needs. So, in our given, ito siya, ang letter para dun ay si S. So, si S yung ating unang blank. Sino naman yung nakalagay dito? So, in the given, depends on. So, ito depends on. So, kung ano yung statement after that, yun yung ilalagay natin sa second blank. How many fish he has? The number of fish is denoted by, okay, CS depends on F. In Tagalog, CS dumedepende kay F. So, dito, ang independent variable natin ay C, the number of fish. Kasi, yung size of the fish tank ang dumedepende kung ilan fish meron yung fish collector. Okay, so si dependent variable ay yung nasa unang blank. So, dumedepende yung size ng fish tank kung ilan yung fish na meron. Okay? Let us have number 2. Last na to. Nicole bought 8 notebooks because she has 8 subjects in her class. So, N is for the number of notebooks and S is for the number of subjects. So, wala tayong word na depends on dito, pero napakadali lang po niyan. Bumili si Nicole ng 8 notebook kasi meron siyang 8 subject. So, ano yung bagay na dumedepende kay kanino. So, dito, ang ating first blank ay the number of notebooks. Kasi, hindi mo mabibili yung number of notebooks na yan kung hindi mo alam yung number of subjects na meron si Nicole. So, si N, yung number of notebooks, depende sa number of subjects. So, dito, ang independent natin ay si number of subjects, tapos si dependent ay si number of notebooks. So, ito lang po yung ating lesson for today. Sana po nakatulong para makasagot po kayo ng mga questions para sa inyo. Thank you and God bless.